नमः ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः वेदोदधिं समुन्मथ्य ज्ञानरत्नं समुद्रितं येन तस्मै वसिष्ठाय गुरुणां गुरवे नमः। वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। शब्द ब्रह्म की जय। सरस्वती महारानी की जय। योग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। हरि ओम। हरि ओम। Today we are going to discuss Yoga Vasistha Nirvana Prakaran second half and 50 chapter number 51. 51. Yes. And in that we are going to discuss the point from absolute point of view. The world never is created, nor there is anything which is called world. No world is there. Only absolute is present in all conditions. And from the vision of the self, self means individual self, the world is there, but it is false. Means imaginary. False. आत्म दृष्टि से मिथ्या उत्पन्न जगत तत्व ज्ञान से जिस तरह निवृत्त हो जाता है. From the worldly point of view, from the individual point of view, there is world something which appears to be, but by the self-knowledge, this so-called world disappears. That means the individual self may imagine something which appears to be the world, so-called world, but when that imagination is no more there, imagination stops, then the world also disappears. This is what we are discussing, how it looks like. And we saw from the angle of vision of a realized soul who has realized this self and looks at this world, he sees only one thing, two in one. He sees two in one. How it is, just as the waves in the water. So waves are not different from the water. The wise man sees both together, both two in one. Appearance of the waves are nothing but water itself. So from this angle of vision, he sees one which ignorant person sees as two. The individual self sees the world as something which is called world. But by the knowledge of self, one sees both in one, just as the water and waves, they are only one thing. They are not different from each other. But for ignorant persons, the waves are there, which has name and form, but the ignorant person never looks at the water which is substratum, which is reality, but he sees the waves only. This point we are discussing from uh, different angles and by different examples. That is what we are going to discuss. हे श्री राम जी, जिसकी अवस्तु रूप समझ लिया, जिसको जिसको अवस्तु रूप समझ लिया, फिर उसका ग्राह्यता कैसे? भला ऐसा कौन पुरुष है जो स्वप्न जानकर भी स्वप्न सुवर्ण को लेने के लिए उसकी ओर दौड़ता है? Vasistha ji explaining to Ram this fact that world is not there by any condition. If at all the worldly people see the world as something, they see the names and forms which they think it is real, but the wise man never sees it. Names and forms are seen in the absolute truth, just as the waves are seen in the water. So he says, a man who understands the world is not there, he will not he will not search for happiness or bliss in these worldly objects. He will not go for all these objects. Just as a person who is awake and he dreamt something, in the dream he found a big mine of gold mine. In the dream he saw. When he is awake, will he try to get that gold mine? Will he try for it? Because he knows it was only dream, it is not real. In this way, when a man, a person who has realized the truth, he will not go for all these worldly enjoyments, or he will not run behind all these names and forms. भद्र स्वप्न के सदृश दृश्य पदार्थों को जब जान लिया जाता है तब उससे प्रेम मनुष्य का निकल जाता है और दृष्टा दृश्य की अवस्थाओं के दोष से जनित जो बड़ी भारी गांठ है वह विच्छिन्न हो जाता है। वशिष्ठ जी says, O Ram, when the visible objects are understood, they are just like objects in this dream. They are not real. Then the person will not run after them and he will find no pleasure in having all those objects. And why these objects are visible, why a person sees all these objects and runs behind it? Because generally the seer sees something. When we analyze the triads, the seer, seen, object and seeing process, we see difference in all these three. The seer is different, seeing process is different, and seen object is different from the seer. Generally, this is the worldly view. Seer sees something which is different from him, so naturally he wishes for that object. Let me have that object. Because he feels the need of the object. That's how he desires for the object. But a person of analytical mind, one who analyzes everything and contemplates over the triads, who is seeing and how this seeing process is and what is the object, by analysis, by contemplation over the triad, seer, seeing and seen object, we find no difference between all these three. Three aspects are in one. The seer, whatever sees, it is in him, and seeing process also is in him. The seer, seen and seeing process, the three are in one, that is the seer. They are not different. This fact we understand when we analyze the process. So a person who contemplates over everything, what he hears, what he sees, then only he finds all these names and forms which appear to be true. They are not true after analytical seeing, and all these objects, they are based on the truth which is not seen, because these names and forms are seen by the haphazard vision. Behind it, the reality is hidden. That is seen by the person who sees it analytically with a with a analytical vision, that is intellectual vision. The person sees no names and forms like the waves and bubbles, but he sees the water only everywhere, all pervading water. This is how this world ceased to exist. इसकी निवृत्ति हो जाने पर यह कैसे स्थित रहता है? When all these names and forms disappear, what remains? What remains in the end? So Vasistha ji is explaining to Ram, दृश्य पदार्थ जिसको नीरस हो गए हैं, या बंधु आदि में जिसको प्रेम नहीं रह गया है, जिसकी मनन शक्ति शांत हो गई हो, और जिसका अहंकार चला गया हो, जो तत्व विद्या से परिपूर्ण वितराग प्रयास रहित और निर्मल बुद्धि हो चुका है, वह सदा शांत ही रहता है। Who sees no pleasure in all these mundane objects, and who has no love for kith and kins, who understands the reality, who sees no difference, जिसका मानसिक शक्ति शांत हो गई है, whose mind has become calm and quiet, and whose ego has subsided, and who has the intense dispassion, who doesn't like to have anything, and whose intellect is perfectly pure and transparent. He sits calmly, he never runs after the objects of this world. He is ever quiet and calm. दीप की शिखा जब नष्ट हो जाती है, तब उसकी किरण जैसे नष्ट हो जाता है, वैसे ही जब रस नीरस रूप बन जाता है, तब ज्ञानी की वासना नष्ट हो जाता है। Just as the lamp doesn't give any light when the oil is exhausted or the wick is fully burnt away, it has no light. Similarly, the person who has no liking for all these names and forms, he he get gets rid of all the desires. The desires subside. He sits calmly. He never goes to fulfill any desires. ज्ञान से पूर्व गंधर्व नगर के सदृश प्रतीत हो रहा है। संपूर्ण जगत तत्व ज्ञान से दीपक की किरणों के सदृश एकमात्र एकमात्र प्रकाश रूप एवं अघन होकर आकाश के सदृश भासने लगता है। One who has seen the truth, realized the truth, for him all these world names and forms, all these worldly vision, for him it becomes some imaginary city in the sky. He never sees any truth in it. तब सप्तम भूमिका की स्थिति से वह किस तरह का होता है? तत्वज्ञानी पुरुष सप्तम भूमिका में स्थिति कर न आत्मा को, न आकाश को, न शून्य को, न वृत्ति को देखता है, किंतु केवल आत्मपद को ही, ब्रह्म रूपता को ही देखता है। So a wise man, when for a wise man all these names and forms of the world has no value. He never sees it as real. So for him all these names and forms are they have no value, and he sees it just like a sky without anything, just empty sky, and he never gets any restlessness of mind. Mind becomes waveless, means mind never works at all, but always he enjoys the bliss of the absolute. That means he keeps quiet and rests in absolute bliss. He never looks at this world. भद्र जो तत्पद वस्तु है उसमें न आत्मा है, न शून्य है, और न जगत की कल्पना ही है। अधिक क्या कहें, उसमें न चित्त है, न दृश्य बुद्धि है, और न यह यथास्थित सब कुछ ही है। So he gives the state of the wise man when the wise man reaches that level of being, that means in the highest level. So he has no, he forgets all the ideas of something like self and something like senses or mind or ego or some objects, names and forms of the world or relationships, all these thought waves never occur in his mind. He keeps quiet. His mind is waveless. He sits calmly and enjoys the bliss. In that state, neither there is any object, nor there is any self, neither the world is not there, nor world is there, neither it is some imaginary objects, nor there is no thought at all, whatever it is. He never thinks of all these. Whether it is there or it is not there, all these thoughts never occur in his mind. अधिक क्या कहें उसमें न चित्त है. In his being, that means he loses his mind, his intellect, ego and subconscious mind. All these aspects, what we think, and we always use all these ego, mind, intellect, and we have these senses and body. All these ideas, all these words never occur in his mind. He never thinks of all this. No waves in his brain. Nothing he thinks. Completely off. That's how they say, where the worldly man is awake, that means when the worldly man, they give importance to all these names and forms and they enjoy having relationship with all these. There it looks just like darkness to the wise man. He never sees anything in this world. There is no world, neither darkness nor light, nothing is there. If at all something is there, it is the absolute truth and he is one with it. He has no different identity which is called ego. He loses his identity and so he has no subconscious mind, no intellect, no thought of the body or senses. So how can he have any idea of names and forms of this world? Nothing is there. So that nothing is everything in a equilibrium state. That is everything, but there is no such words or word meanings. मात्र जो तत्पद वस्तु उसमें न आत्मा है न शून्य है और जगत की कल्पना भी नहीं है. अधिक क्या कहें उसमें न चित्त है न दृश्य बुद्धि है और न यह यथास्थित सब कुछ है. But it is negating all these possibilities in the absolute, there is neither self nor non-self, and there is neither any emptiness or completeness. There is no world, nor there is any thoughts, and there is no visibility, no invisibility. There is nothing to see nor not see. It is. It is as it is. अज्ञानियों के द्वारा पिंड रूप से जाना गया जो यह पृथ्वी आदि का स्वरूप है, वह ज्ञानी के प्रति तो ज्ञान से अस्त हो चुका है और शून्य रूप बन जाता है, अतः विद्यमान रहते भी नहीं है. The worldly people see the objects just as the earth or water or fire, all these are objects. They are existing for the worldly people, but for the realized soul, all these are not at all seen. So how he must be looking at all these? Isn't it? That means how this earth and sun and moon, all these stars will be, where will they go? Huh? So there will be dissolution, all these will disappear. Is it the meaning of it? Will there be dissolution, all these creation will dissolve? If one realizes the truth, for him all these will dissolve. How he will look at it? This is what he is explaining again and again. For a analytical seer, he sees only water, whereas for some other person there are waves and tides and bubbles, whirlpools. There is flow of water. It is river for him. Somewhere it is lake, and it is a ocean. In this way, the ordinary persons, they name the water and they see the water in different forms. But an analytical man sees only water everywhere. That does not mean the ocean or rivers, they will disappear. They are there, but only water is seen everywhere. गीता में जो कहा गया, जावनार्थ उदपाने सर्वतः संप्लुतोदके तावान सर्वेषु वेदेषु. One who realizes the truth, he sees just like a person standing in the water spread all over, the flood water, everywhere it is spread out, and he sees water and water everywhere. He never hankers for a handful of water. He is not in need of a glass of water, because wherever he sees only water. Similarly, a person who sees only water, he never sees the rivers or rivulets or lakes or oceans. He never names the water in this way. He sees only water. For him only water is there. One name water, and that name also has no meaning, because it is, the substance is there, he never names it as water. Everywhere there is water only. For others who want to have relationship with water, then they will look at the waves, bubbles, or tides, or it is a river, or it is a lake. All these are names given by the person who has no analytical eyes. He has difference in all these waters. But one sees only water with analytical eyes. He never sees any differences. This is how the realized soul looks at this world. World will be there, but he will see something else, and ignorant persons see something else. For this we have so many examples. You see, the example of water. Water is seen by the name of waves and bubbles, etc. Water becomes all these, but water never gives up its waterhood or liquidity, its nature. It never loses its nature. It remains as water in all conditions. Similarly, the you say the time. What is time? Time, we say, it is 1 week, a day, or hour, or it is a month. All these are names of time. Huh? 1 year. So all these names are given to time. But one who never deals with all this, never sees anything difference passing away or any difference. So he sees only time, and he never gives any importance to time, just as we have seen in the meditation. There is no time, because time is some factor which we realize it by changes. So one who never changes, he will not know what is time. One who is ever steady in the state of meditation or samadhi, there is no time. Similarly, we see the difference everywhere, in the water, in the land. It is a village, it is a district, it is say a state, or it is a country, it is continent. All these are different names given to the earth. Everywhere there is only earth is there. So this way, everywhere we have differences. Only when we have relationship, transactions with it, we have to have all these differences. that is seen in the worldly persons. And one who has realized the truth means he has seen the oneness in everything. So he never sees any difference. So he will never see any names and forms or changes in all these. ज्ञानी पुरुष एकमात्र आत्म समाधि में चित्त को लगाकर आकाश के सदृश निर्मल बन जाता है. The wise man remains in samadhi state all the time, so he never has anything like subconscious mind or mind, but he remains as the sky, all pervading. सब आसक्तियों से रहित होकर ही अपनी स्थिति बनाती है और स्थित रहकर भी असत के तुल्य बना रहता है. And he remains calm and quiet, and he becomes one with the all-pervading truth, so he never sees any differences anywhere. हे श्री राम जी, जिसका मन मर गया है और जो सर्वबाधावधि आत्मपद को प्राप्त हुआ है, ऐसे मननशील मौनी संसार रूपी समुद्र को तैर गया है और सब कर्मों के अंत को भी प्राप्त हो गया है. यह अवश्य जान लीजिए. Take it for granted. Such a person has nothing to do. Never he does anything, nor he expect anything. He has no action nor reaction, but he keeps quiet all the time. He does nothing. And he is beyond this world. संसार समुद्र को तर गया. He has gone beyond this world. राघव, है राघव, क्योंकि जो संपूर्ण शरीरों के आधार भुवनाधार गगन तथा विहार स्थान पर्वत है, उनको साधन और करणों का एकमात्र कारण मूल अज्ञान ही है, दूसरा नहीं है. इसलिए ज्ञान द्वारा अंतःकरण से अज्ञान की निवृत्ति हो जाने पर यह शरीर आदि जगत अज्ञानियों के दृष्टि से विद्यमान रहते भी विनष्ट हो जाता है. ज्ञानी असद्रूप बन जाता है, ज्ञानी के लिए असद्रूप बन जाता है. विद्वान पुरुष का अंतःकरण शांत रहता है, उसके विकल्प विनष्ट हुए रहते हैं. वह अपने स्वरूपभूत आत्मरस में सन्मय रहता है. परम शांति रूपी अमृत रस से तृप्त रहता है, उसको आवरण भी नहीं रहता है। इस प्रकार उसकी उत्तम स्थिति होता है। So he concludes here this chapter by telling Ram, the ignorance is the root cause of this world. World means all these differences and all these names and forms, and whatever we see as the world, it is the effect of the ignorance. Because of ignorance, we have this world. And one who has gone beyond ignorance, one who is always established in knowledge, he never sees all these differences, never sees this world as world. He sees this world as the truth without any differences. The same thing he sees differently, and worldly people see differently. Because of ignorance, we see all these differences. How it is? What is called ignorance? Huh? Ignorance. How do you define ignorance? And how do you define knowledge? Come on. He says the ignorance is the root cause of this world. What is called ignorance?
Not to see oneness.
Pardon?
To not be able to see oneness.
Pardon?
Not to be able to see oneness.
Yes. One who sees the differences, that is called ignorance.
Know and don't know.
Huh?
Know and don't know.
Know and don't know.
Confusing state, Swamiji.
Pardon?
Confusing state, she says.
Confusing state. Yes, confusion. That means not seeing the reality. No clarity, no reality. Confusion is called ignorance. Not seeing the reality. Isn't it? One who sees the reality, he will not have any confusion or any doubt. Doubtfulness is called ignorance. One who has doubts, who will have doubts, who never knows the truth, no reality. For example, the rope and snake, because we don't see the rope, that is not seeing the reality, then we are ignorant of the reality. And that's how we have the doubt what it will be. So instead of the reality, we concocted something, we imagine something, and that we see. We see the snake because we don't see the rope. Rope is reality, and one who sees the rope, he has no doubt, so he knows the truth. And one who never sees the rope, he has doubt because of his wrong concept. He never knows what is reality. And that's how he imagines something on the reality, and that is called ignorance. And that's how he will have also doubts. So, ignorance is the cause of this world with names and forms and differences. Why we see the differences? Why we see the differences? And how the wise men never see differences, they see only one without any difference, without any gap or any changes, any difference, how it is.
If we operate from the one eye, then we see differences.
Our vision is always changing. Our vision is faulty. That's how we don't see the reality, and we see differences. Differences are seen because of doubt, because the reality is not seen. How, for example, when we are searching for something and we are not getting it, for example, say, I want, so what do I want?
A new magnifier.
Magnifying glass. Okay. I want a magnifying glass. So I went to the market. I was searching for a magnifying glass. So I have to go. I don't know where it is available. Magnifying glass, it will not be available in the glass house. In the glass house, they will have different pots and pans of different objects of glass only. Why he should have magnifying glass? Should I go to the stationery shop? No. Why he should keep it? Should I go to medical shop? Maybe. Should I go to what? Eh? Eh?
फलों का दुकान
Follow?
वहाँ नहीं मिलेगा ना फलों का दुकान सब्जी का
Ah.
दुकान
So I will be searching for it. That's how the differences are seen. I should go from one shop to the other searching for the magnifying glass, my object. Where it will be available, then I will not have any search. There will be no differences. There will not be any doubts. So all these are because of ignorance. I don't know where it is. Understood? I don't know where is the boy who is absent in the class. That's how I go on searching for him in different places. Differences are because of ignorance. I don't know where he is. His presence is not known to me. So I search for his presence of the boy who is absent. Absence means ignorance. And I don't know where is the boy. I went on searching for him. That's how changes are because of ignorance, and doubts are because of ignorance, and differences are because of ignorance. Ignorance is not having the reality. Absence of reality is ignorance. And the moment I get the object which I was searching for, then there is no doubt, no difference, no thoughts, no action, no reaction. Everything subsides. No doubts, no running hither and thither. So one gets a rest. So this is how the ignorance is the cause for all our problems and differences and our running behind the objects, all these doubts, that is, all these are result of our ignorance. And why, there is another question, why when you say the truth is all pervading and omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, how it, because it is omnipresent, so why it is not available? Why it is not seen? Why it is not available to everyone? Yes.
Because of the moving mind, the fluctuation of the unstability of the mind.
Because it is the one who's searching, like the quote below.
You see, the truth is just like the transparent, this crystal stone. It is absolutely pure. There is nothing else other than itself. That's how it is one without a second. Okay? So look at this crystal stone. Because of its transparency, it holds uh, re- all the reflections of all the objects around it because of its transparency. Though it never gets agitated, never gets any change in it, yet it holds everything because of its transparency. And that's how when we look at this uh, that stone, we see only the reflections, not the stone, isn't it? We see only reflections. And the stone has no such things, but we see in it all these reflections. See here, when you look at this glass, what do you see? All the reflections of these trees and mountains and everything is reflected in it. Are they really in the glass? because it is transparent, and transparency is the nature of the glass. And because of its nature, which is transparency, that's how we see all these objects in it which is not there. And that's called ignorance. Because we see something else, that's how we don't see the reality. And only by analytical process we can see the glass without any reflections. That's how the truth, though it is all pervading and ever existing, yet it is not available to everyone because of its nature. Nature is so pure, so something else is superimposed in it which is seen by the faulty vision. And only when you will have the analytical mind and you contemplate over it, how all these names and forms are reflecting in it, when these reflections are taken away, then the reality will be available to anybody and everybody because it is all pervading. Because of its nature, it is not available to everyone, though it is ever present in all conditions. So, Vasistha explains Ram, O Ram, this world is the effect of ignorance, one who is not able to see the reality, realize the reality, but one who realizes the truth, he never sees all these. Here itself we can see one who looks at the glass, he never sees the reflections. But when we see the reflections, we don't see the glass. The glass is available, yet we don't see it because our vision is faulty vision. We see the reflections inside. That's how when the reflections are seen, the glass is omitted. The glass is present, yet it is not seen. That's how the world is the hiding factor. The names and forms, they hide, they are the reflections of the truth itself, and they hide the truth. That's how we don't see the truth. We see the names and forms, and we have relationship with all these names and forms. So, every object has, whatever we see, every object has 5 aspects. The inner aspect, which is not seen to ordinary persons, that is absolute existence, knowledge, and bliss, which is covered up by names and forms. Because of our vision of names and forms, we don't see the hidden 3 aspects. 2 aspects are covering hiding factor, which we see names and forms, and under this the reality is hidden, which is Sat, Chit, Anand, the truth, existence, bliss and knowledge. These three aspects are covered up by the hiding factor, that is name and forms. When we, just as the fruit we eat, we deal with the skin, outward skin of the fruit. We deal with them, the outer covering. The name and form is the outer covering. It hides the inner juice, which is to be enjoyed. But we just deal with the names and forms, the skin of the fruit. But one who wants to enjoy the juice of it, he has to throw out the outer skin, which is nothing but name and form. The same object has the truth hidden within it. So when we take out all these names and forms, what remains? The three other aspects remains always, the Sat Chit Anand. So when the names and forms are taken out by the realized soul, by the wise man, we cannot say nothing remains. Everything remains. The hiding factor is thrown out. Just as you get a letter, registered letter, it will be covered with a envelope, isn't it? The letter cannot come open. It is hidden inside the envelope, a well protected envelope. And when you get it, what do you want? Do you want the envelope, the address, the cover? Do you want that, or you want the matter written in the letter? What do you want? The wise man opens out the envelope and throws off the covering envelope and finds out the letter and enjoy the message given in the letter. That is not something solid. It is to enjoy. But envelope is seen. It is covering, the covering factor. It has name, it has form, it has all the address, but which are not wanted. Wanted is inside matter. Similarly, this world, every object has all these five aspects. The inner matter is to be enjoyed, and the outer covering of name and forms are to be thrown out. Name rupe prithakritva sat chit ananda tatpara. One should throw out these names and forms and enjoy the absolute knowledge, bliss and truth inside it. That is what Vasistha ji explained to Ram. Because of ignorance one suffers, and one sees all these outer covering with names and forms, which is called world, which appears to be true, but the inner substance which is reality, it is not available to everyone.
पंडित जी व्यवहारिक दृष्टि से जो वाइज मैन है वो द वर्ल्डी मैन विल से दैट यू हैव अ दृष्टि दोष एंड दृष्टि
दोष दृष्टि
दोनों साइड से व्यवहारिक आदमी बोलेगा कि वाइज मैन हैज अ फॉल्टी विजन और वाइज मैन बोलेगा कि मटेरियल पर्सन हैज अ फॉल्टी विजन
No, ignorant person cannot say the wise man has faulty vision. He cannot say because the wise man sees both, but he enters into the inside matter and he is never concerned with the name and forms. That's how he enjoys the juice, raso vaisaha. That is essence. And essence is called the self, and the the supreme self is all pervading. So it is hidden in the names and forms of the world. It is all pervading, it is never absent anywhere. But why it is not available to everyone, though it is all pervading? Because it is hidden. So who hides it? Why it is hidden? It is not at all hidden. Your ideas have hidden it. Your ideas. Your ideas are imaginary ideas which are concerned with the names and forms, but everything is only the truth, and they call it Vibhartavad. Vibhartavad means it appears to be something else other than the reality. Say Vibhart just as the wave. Wave is not covering factor. Water becomes wave, and what waves are not hiding the water. Here waves are just some imaginary name and form of the water. It is not hiding the water. Everywhere water is present. It is your vision. What do you want to see? The wise man sees both together, two in one. The names and forms, the waves are seen as water. It is not other than the water. So, he sees both together, and the ignorant person sees only names and forms. He never sees the reality. He sees only the wave, not the water. That is where he is called ignorant. He never sees the water, but he talks about, he relates everything with the wave. How is the wave? How it changes? How it is in motion? How it creates the differences. All these are belong to, all these differences and names and forms belong to wave only. But water has no such differences. Water is water all the time. This is the difference between the vision of a wise man and a ignorant person. Ignorant persons is involved with names and forms. which is ever changing, and there are also all the differences, everything. And that's how we, because we don't see the reality hidden within it, that's how we have always the doubts, what is it, how it is, and all these covering facts, they are bound to change, and there will be differences, but the inner fact is non-changing. That's how it never creates any doubts. In this way, the 51 chapter, 51st chapter is completed. In the 52nd chapter, we shall see तार्किकों के तर्कों से उत्पन्न हुई अनेक प्रकार की कल्पनाओं का खंडन कर कूटस्थ परमात्मा के अनिर्वच्य जगत भाव का समर्थन. In this chapter, we shall see in the next chapter, 52nd chapter, we shall see by argument, by logic, people who go on arguing. Argument is not the process to know the reality. Argument sometimes lead us somewhere. You see, we don't reach the reality. For everything there will be argument. So argument of course is required, but it should be proper with logic, and argument helps you, but not always. And logic should be applied, but not always. With logic and argument, with examples, we have to have faith and confidence. Faith. Without faith, we cannot get the reality. Faith is a must. You see, in every step of our life, we lead our life with faith only. We believe everyone with whom we have the relationship. Anybody we see, we deal with, we believe everyone. You see, when you got up, the person you saw, don't you believe him? If you don't believe him, then you will be afraid of him. Maybe he is a murderer, or he is enemy to me. Who is he? You have to believe. You believe it. You believe everyone in your family. You believe everyone in the road where, when you walk. Huh? You believe your cook. You believe your teacher. Whatever he teaches, you believe it. And you believe your friends. You believe your kith and kins, your villagers, your everyone with whom you have relation. You believe everywhere. And you believe whatever is said by others. first-hand information you believe. If you get some many informations on one subject, then only there will be doubt. The first-hand information everybody believes. We always have this faith as our guide. Because of faith we live. We have faith on our life itself. We believe that I will not die now. We have faith on ourselves. We have faith on others. Faith is our life itself. So to know the reality, to have the knowledge of the self, we should have faith. Faith on whom? Faith on the words or directions or guidance of people whom we believe. We have to believe someone. Whom should we believe? One who says, I have seen the truth. Said, you want to go to Gangotri. You have never been. And you want to go to Gangotri and Gomukh and still further. So you want a guide. Okay? You have to take a guide. And you believe that guide has all the informations. He can guide you. You have faith on the guide. And you have to believe him. Wherever he takes, you have to go with him. Because you are ignorant of all this. You have to accept your ignorance. Then you have to believe a guide. That is our spiritual teacher. One who guides us in the spiritual path, one who leads us to the truth. We have to believe. So, to have faith, you use your argument. Because you have, see, all these are only arguments, logic. You have to believe your guide. Why? Argument. Because you are ignorant, because you don't know. That's how you have to believe. And once you have faith, then you have to believe whatever he says. Sometimes he may talk something which is irrelevant, but yet you have to believe. One example. You have to believe your guide. That will enable you to reach the truth, but argument will not do. You see, once Swami Chidanji was staying in Kailas Ashram, Uttarkasi, a two-storied building. So he was staying in the upper floor, and because Swamiji was there, myself and others, Ram Sarup and others, Swamiji's attendants, we used to be there in day. I come away at night. I come away to Ganeshpuri here, but daytime I go and attend to Swamiji. And once we were sitting in the veranda of his room, and we saw behind the veranda, the other side, there was a slopy land and a beautiful garden. So Swamiji wanted to go to that garden. So we were searching. We had some idea that because it is slopy land, so from second floor there should be some passage to the garden. But we could not find any path. Nothing we could find. So we wanted to ask someone how to go to backside. Where is the way? From upper veranda we looked down. Some boy was standing and playing there. Some student. He was staying in the ashram. We asked that boy, "Oh boy, do you know where is the way to go backside garden? We want to go there. Can you tell us where is the way?" We thought there should be way from the veranda itself. We heard that idea. That idea what we heard before, how it works, you see. Then the boy said, "Where do you want to go?" "We want to go behind that. We want to see the garden." "Where is the way?" "Come down." He just said, "Come down." "Arey, we want to go to backside." He is telling, "Come down." I emphasized, "My dear boy, we want to go backside. You are telling, come down." Then the boy got annoyed. "I told you to come down." He shouted at me. "I told you to come down." Then, of course, we also got annoyed. See this boy, how he is shouting. We asked him to go backside. And he is coming, he is telling, "Come down." When we were trying to tell something to the boy, Swamiji just stopped us telling something. He just followed his words. He started coming down by the staircase. So we had to follow him. When Swamiji came down, the boy took us, going ahead, took us in the small passage, in a narrow passage, and showed the path, "Go this way." So we didn't want to follow the guide. He says, "Come down." It is something, it looks something as irrelevant. We want to go behind. He says, "Come down." But he knows where is the path. So he will guide you. So you have to have faith on him. There is no argument. Once you have chosen him as your guide, you have to obey him by all means. You cannot argue there. There only faith and obedience works. That's how the faith is the last what we call last asset. If one has faith on his guide, he will reach the truth. No doubt in it. So sometimes all these people who argues, they argue and they try to establish something which is irrelevant. So in this chapter we have to condemn all these arguments and different schools of thoughts. They fight with each other, and then we have to see the truth which is beyond, how it is beyond expression, beyond speech, beyond mind and intellect, beyond everything. It can be only experienced, it cannot be expressed. So no language can explain how is the truth, what is the truth. It is beyond all speech, all mind and intellect, beyond expression. It is beyond everything. That is to be established. And all the arguments, all different schools of thoughts, we have to discuss and then condemn in this chapter. So, of course, arguments will be there. So, next we shall see tomorrow by arguing and condemning argument. खंडन मंडन, पहले मंडन उसके बाद खंडन. Tomorrow we shall see. First you have to accept and then condemn. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasisate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय. सबदा ब्रह्म की जय. सरस्वती महारानी की जय. जो वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय. हरि ओम. हरि ओम भाई. जय हो.
कर्नाटक से देवेंद्र बोल रहा हूँ स्वामी जी.
जी
कर्नाटक स्टेट से देवेंद्र बोल रहा हूँ.
अच्छा अच्छा. हाँ भाई. जय हो. जय हो. जय
जय श्री राम.
जय श्री राम.
साष्टांग नमन गुरु जी. हरिओम स्वामी जी.
जय गुरुदेव. जय गुरुदेव. हरि ओम. हरि ओम.
महाराष्ट्र से जाह्नवी कुलकर्णी.
अच्छा. जी 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 जी
आई के भक्त साधक.
जी जी. मतलब हरि
की मालती माता जी है ना,
हाँ हाँ
उसकी शादी का
जी जी.